We're diving into something every startup dreams about.
Landing those first customers.
Exactly. But it's more than just sales.
It really is.
It's like proof your whole idea is actually, you know,
Valid.
yeah, valid. And our sources today are full of advice from people who have been there.
Oh, yeah. Seasoned entrepreneurs who've figured out how to crack the code.
And you know, one stat that really jumped out at me,
Give me with it.
nearly 70% of startups fail
Wow.
because there's just no market need.
That's huge. So basically, they built something nobody wanted.
Yeah, and that's why getting those early customers is so important.
It's not just about the money. It's proof you're solving a real problem.
100%.
Yeah.
And that leads us to our first big takeaway.
Knowing your customer.
Blank the back of your hand.
Right? Even better. The sources we're looking at today say you got to understand your target market like it's your best friend.
So more than just kind of knowing who might be interested.
Way more. It's about getting laser focused.
Laser focused. Okay, I like that.
You know, they actually suggest thinking of your ideal customer almost like a character in a movie.
Really?
Yeah. What are their motivations? What do they dream about? What keeps them up at night?
So we're not just listing demographics.
Nope. We're creating a whole profile.
Like a character study.
You got it.
Hmm.
And this is where things get interesting. You might think you're targeting one group,
Okay.
but then when you really dig into those personas,
Yeah.
you discover your early adopters are totally different.
Oh, I can see that happening.
Like imagine you create a productivity app thinking you're targeting young professionals.
Okay, I'm following you.
But then you realize your biggest fans are retirees who are super tech savvy and want to stay sharp.
Wow, that changes everything.
Right. Your whole marketing strategy shifts.
Makes you realize how important it is to do that deep dive into who your customer really is.
No doubt about it. It can make or break your success.
Okay, so we've got our customer persona nailed down. Now what?
And now we need to craft your superpower.
My superpower.
Your value proposition. Think of it like a superhero's origin story. What makes you uniquely qualified to solve your customer's problem?
Oh, I love that analogy. But how do we actually make that into something concrete?
The sources break it down into a few key things. First, clarity.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No jargon. No
Yeah.
technical mumbo-jumbo.
Makes sense.
Second, conciseness.
Yeah.
You got to get to the point quickly.
Short attention spans these days?
For sure. And finally, benefits. Focus on what the customer gains, not just what your product does.
So less about features, more about transformation.
You got it. And remember, this isn't a one-time thing. This value proposition needs to be woven into everything.
Your website, your marketing, your elevator pitch.
Everything.
You know, the sources also talked about testing your value proposition out on real people.
Oh, that's so important.
Duh.
Don't just assume you've nailed it. Get feedback.
From actual potential customers.
Right. Refine it until it really sings.
Feedback is gold, especially in those early stages.
Couldn't agree more. And once you have that solid value proposition, it's time to start spreading the word.
Which brings us to networking.
It's all about who you know, right?
Yeah, but before we picture those stuffy networking events with lukewarm coffee.
No, not those. The sources we looked at are all about building genuine relationships.
So less about pushing your product, more about connecting with people.
Exactly. It's about learning from others, being helpful.
And maybe just casually mentioning your awesome startup when the time is right.
Exactly. No hard sell, just building a supportive community.
I like that. And think about it, everyone you know knows someone else.
Your network is bigger than you think.
That aunt who always seems to know what's up. Your former colleagues, college buddies, they could all know someone who'd love your product.
Absolutely. And don't forget about online communities.
Oh, yeah. LinkedIn groups, niche Reddit threads.
Those can be gold mines. But remember, don't just lurk.
Right. Be helpful. Share your knowledge.
Build genuine connections. Then maybe casually mention your startup when it feels natural.
Subtlety is key. I love how these sources really emphasize the human element of networking.
We do. It's not about collecting business cards. It's about building relationships that can benefit you in so many ways.
And speaking of connecting with people, our next topic is all about mastering the digital world,
Marketing strategies for the modern age.
where things can get a little overwhelming.
A little. It's a whole jungle out there. But luckily, our sources offer a clear roadmap.
Okay, lay it on me. I need that roadmap.
It all starts with your online presence.
Yeah.
Your website is like your digital storefront.
It's got to be welcoming, informative, easy to navigate.
Exactly. And make sure your value proposition is front and center.
Got it. And we can't forget about SEO.
Oh, that's crucial. Making sure people can actually find your website.
It's like having a beautifully designed shop hidden down a back alley.
Perfect analogy. No one will find it unless you put up some signs.
So SEO is like putting up those
You
signs.
got it. And then there's content marketing,
Blog posts, videos, infographics,
anything that provides value to your target audience.
and positions you as an expert.
Exactly. You want people to see you as the go-to resource.
So it's about building trust and authority.
Exactly. And let's not forget social media.
Oh boy, so many platforms.
Choose the ones where your target audience hangs out and create engaging content.
I saw this one company that absolutely nailed their social media strategy.
Oh, yeah. What do they do?
Their content was so funny and relatable, you felt like you were part of an inside joke.
I love that. It's about building that connection.
Absolutely. And while organic reach is great,
Don't be afraid to dip your toes into paid advertising.
like Google ads and Facebook ads,
Those can be super effective for targeting your ideal customer.
I've seen some great results, but it definitely takes some skill to get it right.
Agreed. And finally, let's not forget about email marketing.
Email, the OG digital marketing channel.
It's still a powerhouse.
Woo!
Building an email list is like having a direct line to your most engaged audience.
You can offer a lead magnet like a free ebook or discount.
Exactly. And then keep them engaged with newsletters and valuable content.
So many great tips, but it feels like a lot to handle.
It can be. Don't try to do everything at once.
Start small.
Master the basics and gradually expand your digital footprint.
Solid advice. It's like building a house. You wouldn't start with the roof.
Haha. Exactly. Lay a strong foundation first.
Okay, so we've covered the foundations. Now what about adding some extra oomph?
You're talking about incentives and promotions.
Give the people what they want. Everyone loves a good deal.
Oh, they do. And incentives create that urgency and excitement.
Especially in the early days when you're trying to get people to try your product.
Absolutely. So what kind of sweet deals are we talking about?
Hit me with the good stuff.
Well, the sources highlight a few classics that are always effective. Early bird discounts are great.
It's like being a VIP. You get early access, the best seats in the house.
Exactly. Another great tactic is referral programs.
Turn your customers into brand ambassadors.
Right. They bring in their friends and family and everyone wins.
Remember that time you got a free month of streaming because a friend referred you?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. That's the power of a good referral program.
And then there are free trials and samples.
Lower the barrier to entry. Let people experience your product without committing financially.
It's like a test drive before you buy a car.
Exactly. And finally, consider running limited time promotions.
Flash sales exclusive bundle.
Create that sense of urgency and excitement.
It's like finding a hidden treasure. You have to grab it before someone else does.
Exactly. By using incentives strategically, you can attract those first customers and build a buzz.
But it's got to be thoughtful.
Don't just discount for the sake of discounting.
Make sure it aligns with your brand and your target audience.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground.
And we're just getting started.
There's so much more to explore. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about all those sweet deals, those incentives and promotions.
Yeah, how to really make an offer people can't refuse.
Exactly. But one of the things the sources emphasized
Yeah,
is that it's not just about offering any discount.
right. It's got to be strategic.
Exactly. It's about making sure those incentives actually align with your goals.
So you attract the right customers.
You got it. The ones who'll stick around and become those raving fans.
The ones who really get your brand.
Exactly. For example, if you're building a premium brand,
Sure.
offering huge discounts all the time
Yeah.
might actually devalue your product.
Oh, interesting.
And you might end up attracting customers who are only there for the bargain.
Not for the long-term value.
Exactly. It's like those flash sales for designer handbags.
You get a surge of buyers, but are they really the ideal customer for that luxury brand?
Probably not.
Yeah.
You want customers who resonate with your brand, who see the value beyond just the price tag.
So it's about attracting those who are truly aligned with your vision.
Absolutely. Before you launch any promotion, take a step back and ask yourself,
Okay.
what kind of customer am I trying to attract? And does this offer actually align with that goal?
Makes sense. It's like dating. You don't want to pretend to be someone you're not.
Haha. Exactly.
Speaking of relationships, we've talked about attracting customers,
Right.
but what about keeping them happy?
Customer retention. That's the golden ticket.
Because it's way cheaper to keep an existing customer happy.
Than to constantly find new ones.
It's like that saying, one happy customer tells a friend, one unhappy customer tells 10 friends.
Word of mouth is powerful. Especially from those loyal repeat customers.
Absolutely. And our sources had some great advice on building that customer loyalty.
Okay. I'm all ears.
First, you got to deliver on your promises.
Your product or service has to live up to the hype.
It's like going to a restaurant that's been hyped up by all your friends.
And the food is terrible.
You're not going back no matter how nice the place looks.
Exactly. You got to walk the walk. And then beyond the product itself,
There's customer service.
oh, that's huge. Be responsive, be helpful, show genuine empathy.
Go above and beyond to make things right.
Those little touches can turn a frustrated customer into a lifelong fan.
It's true. I had this issue with an online order once,
Oh, yeah.
and the company bent over backward to fix it. They even sent me a gift card. I've been a loyal customer ever since, and I tell everyone about their amazing service.
That's the power of those small gestures. They make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And there's also personalization,
Using data to understand your customer's preferences.
so you can tailor your communication.
Exactly. It could be as simple as sending a birthday email with a discount.
Or recommending products based on their past purchases.
It shows you're paying attention, that you care about their experience.
And finally, don't be afraid to ask for feedback.
Send out surveys, encourage reviews.
And actually listen to what your customers are saying.
Feedback is gold, even when it's not all positive.
It helps you improve and make your product even better.
By actively listening to your customers, you're showing them you're committed to constantly evolving.
So it's not just about landing those first customers, it's about building relationships.
Relationships that will benefit your business for years to come.
And that's what it's all about in the end.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
But we've only scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about landing those first customers.
And building those lasting relationships.
Exactly. But now let's get down to brass tacks. What are the actual steps we need to take to make it happen?
Well, one of the things that really stood out in the research
Okay.
was the idea of starting small.
Starting small. Interesting.
Yeah. Instead of trying to reach everyone at once, focus on building momentum with a smaller group.
So instead of casting a wide net,
Go for something more targeted.
okay, I like that. But how do we choose that target?
Remember those customer personas we talked about?
Of course. Getting to know our ideal customer inside and out.
Exactly.
Huh.
So instead of trying to appeal to everyone in your target market,
Yeah.
identify a smaller group within that market.
A niche within a niche.
You got it. Those early adopters who are most likely to love your product.
The ones who will become our biggest fans.
Exactly. They'll not only use your product, but they'll tell their friends about it.
Word of mouth marketing gold.
Absolutely. It's about finding that beachhead market, that group who will become your passionate evangelists.
I love that approach. But how do we actually reach those early adopters? We talked about all these different marketing channels.
Website, content, social media, email.
It can be overwhelming.
It can. But the key is to work smarter, not harder.
Okay, how do we do that?
Identify the channels where your target audience already hangs out.
So if they're active on LinkedIn,
That's where you need to be.
but our message needs to be tailored for each platform, right?
Absolutely. You wouldn't wear a tuxedo to a pool party.
Haha, good point. So we need to adapt our message for each platform.
Exactly. Think about the context. On LinkedIn, you might share a thought leadership piece.
Okay.
On Instagram, maybe a behind-the-scenes look at your company or a fun product demo.
I love those analogies. It makes it so much easier to understand.
Glad to hear it. And the beauty of this approach is that it allows for experimentation.
We can test things out, see what works.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to try new things, track your results, and adjust as needed.
It's all about learning and iterating.
Just like Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb on his first try.
Persistence is key.
Absolutely.
Here.
And don't underestimate those one-on-one connections.
Networking, attending events.
Reaching out to potential customers directly
It's all about putting yourself out there.
and letting your passion shine through.
Because those early customers are more than just buyers.
They're your partners.
They can give you valuable feedback.
and help you shape your product.
It's like having a team of beta testers who are invested in your success.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah, this has been fantastic.
I want to leave you with this thought. Landing those first customers is a journey.
Not a destination.
Exactly. It takes time and effort and a whole lot of hustle.
But it's so rewarding to see your vision come to life.
And to know you're building something people truly value.
So to all those aspiring entrepreneurs out there, don't be afraid to get out there and make it happen.
Your first customers are waiting to discover you.
And that's a wrap for the deep dive. See you next time for another insightful exploration.